Hey there, guys, and welcome to the first episode of The Rambling Producer. My name is Matt Eichenberg, and I'll be your host.
Help me put your brain about mid-range, cutting out frequencies, it's the music game.
So jumping right into it, this first episode is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to be kind of getting to know each other a little bit and getting to know the company that I work for and own called Signal Studios, and kind of what this podcast is about a little bit, and some background on my life, and just so we can be better acquainted. So this podcast is pretty straightforward. It's going to be just kind of a podcast supporting the arts, not just music, while that is my main kind of focus in my personal career. I am also going to probably be talking with, other podcasts and other types of artists as well, that I meet along the way throughout my life and that I've kind of been able to network with. We probably are going to mostly have music-based things on here, but again, I know one of my first guests probably isn't going to be music-based, and I know that a couple of them are, so, but I can't reveal any of that additional information, kind of stay tuned for all of that, but yeah, welcome to the first episode. We're going to jump right into it here, and basically the idea behind this is that I want to throw a support line to all of the artists out there, give my knowledge of kind of what I've ran into so far. I've been in the audio production realm for probably 4 or 5 years now. It's not super long. There's a lot of people that have been for a lot longer than I have been, but I've been through quite a bit. I started kind of my interest in this in high school. I took a class in video and audio production, got to do a lot of video stuff, a little bit of audio stuff, but really it wasn't a whole lot when it comes to school side. When it comes to audio, just kind of simple things, learning what an XLR connector is and just little things like that. But yeah, some simple things that I've learned. I took about a 2-year class while I was in high school for that, got a certification in video and audio. But really, most of my knowledge came after high school. I got to work in a non-profit studio called Above Pete's Garage. Really awesome place. They're open one day a week, but they are probably the greatest resource I have ever really ran into, and I still think that holds true to today. Really awesome guys. I still try to every once in a while show up to their stuff. I tend to be kind of busy lately, so I haven't gotten to run into a lot of stuff, and with the whole COVID thing, now everything's closed down, so it's not like we're doing anything now anyways, but we can't connect, so that's a little unfortunate, but they are a really awesome resource. They're over in Adrian, Michigan. But yeah, so while I was in high school, I kind of was in a rut here. I wanted to be a musician, but I really didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know even what path I wanted to take, let alone what path to take. And so I was really trying to find my sound and things that I enjoyed. I know I started with guitar when I was 7 years old. I was introduced to it by my brother, who no longer plays. He kind of quit shortly after that. Sometimes he says he envies me for that, but hey, at least he gets to see what he created. But yeah, I through high school I had a little bit of stuff going on where I might have been playing some acoustic stuff and just trying to experiment recording at home. I started a project that was just my name, Matt Eichenberg, and it wasn't really great, but a lot of my family members and a lot of my friends and stuff, they really enjoyed it, which is good. I think that was a really good learning experience for me to just kind of jump in it and just kind of experiment. And I think it was good that I got that phase out of the way before I left high school. I'm actually going to go back one more step and say, in middle school, I still had that experimental phase. I was actually in a Christian scream band called Faith Lives Inside, or Fly, F-L-I. They changed their name right after I left. I wasn't part of it for super long. I think we were together for a year. We did some practice stuff. We were working with a guy named, I think his name was, maybe his name was Todd. I'm really bad at remembering this far back, especially for names. But I know his last name was Court, I think. But yeah, so he had a lot of knowledge about the recording stuff back then. But the recording scene has changed a lot even since then. I know it hasn't been super long. I mean, it's been a while, but from middle school through high school, and then I'm like 5-6 years out of high school. It really hasn't been as long as you think. You think about the develop of the whole industry. But yeah, I got to learn a little bit back then. I was kind of into EDM stuff, and so that kind of relates to my sound today. I really do have some EDM and also kind of like emo-ish vibes mixed in with my music. I personally do pop music. Sometimes it gets described as dark pop because I can have kind of a dark vibe to it, but not always. But yeah, so fast forward out of high school, I actually got to work in that nonprofit. It was like a mentorship kind of deal. I got to, play at a couple events called Rock for Tots, one in Pettisville, Ohio, one in Adrian, and I got to be a part of those. Oh no, I didn't play at the one in Pettisville. I was assisting in the engineering, setting up the speakers, setting up the sound systems. It's the second one I got to play at in Adrian, Michigan. I got to play at a little restaurant bar called Chomp Burger. It was really, really fun. I really loved it. I only got to play like 1 or 2 songs, but it was awesome. And that's like when I knew that, hey, music is what I want to do. I mean, I already knew at that point that I wanted to do it, but that moment was kind of, I guess, the moment that it really hit me that I definitely want to do this. Like I'm never gonna let this go. And that was really great for me. I got to meet a lot of really cool guys at the time. Right after that, I actually ended up moving to Toledo, Ohio. Just kind of ended up going that way because I knew that they had a decent music scene, at least compared to where I was living before, that I knew about, and went there. I ended up working as what considered an account executive for a company that was terrible, and ended up leaving that, working for Verizon and a bunch of other jobs. And basically during that time, I also was helping a business major set up a music studio because her daughter was a singer, R&B singer. And I got to work with that. She didn't really know a whole lot about the music stuff, but she wanted to do that, and I was really helping her get everything set up. She had a bad experience previously. Luckily, she still trusted me, and she put her trust in me, and I can say that I helped her set up her room, got everything kind of started, and since then, I think she's grown quite a bit. Last I heard, she's hired several teams now. She's really grown. That business was called Loudmouth Studios. I don't know if it still is. Definitely check it out if you guys get the chance. Maybe it's still called Loudmouth. I don't know. But yeah, I got to go do that for a while, and I met a really cool artist out there named JC Howes. If you guys follow my Facebook page, you've probably seen me share some of his stuff. He actually lives in Massachusetts. He was just kind of out in the area for quite a while, and we got to work together. He actually kind of transitioned with me out of that studio. We worked together a little bit, I'd say remotely, but I kind of traveled to him, and we found a mutual space that we could use for recording. Wasn't the most ideal conditions, but we made it work, and we made a couple songs here and there before he moved back home. He also got to work with a buddy of mine at Frozen Lake Media to make a music video and everything, and it's doing pretty well. He got to be on some grind mode ciphers on YouTube, a bunch of different stuff, and yeah, so I got to get a lot of experience out in that area. Since then, I've also gotten to connect with some marketing agencies, both out in Nashville and also a marketing, kind of logo marketing thing out in Ohio. And I've made a lot of connections over the years, But like I said, this is something that I just really, really, really enjoy. And I'm just glad to be able to be a part of it and be able to share my experiences with you guys. So yeah, I like to share some of the things that we're probably going to be going over in future episodes, and I definitely made a large list. I asked the audience on my Facebook page to, make some suggestions that you guys would like to hear. that, artists really need help with, need someone to cover the subjects. And I got some really, really good responses. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of those to you. I'm going to take a second to pull those up here, but I'm going to kind of keep talking. I also wrote down some other stuff, and we're going to go over some differences in mix and masters over the course of time. We're going to go over, what is mixing, what is mastering. I know that's a question a lot of people have. What the heck is mastering, man? All I know is I send it to the engineer and it comes back magical. No. None of my people sound like that, by the way. But I like to make my voice sound like that, apparently. What does it mean to be a pro? That's a big thing that's changed over the years. That's something that we're going to talk about. And we're definitely going to talk about, what the big picture for artists looks like now. And just how the industry's evolving overall. We also might do some music reviews in the future. In my view, just with my views on new music. Kind of goes hand in hand with how it's evolving. We also do artist development at my studio. So we might talk about that a little bit, and how to market, and just a whole lot of different things. I have like 2 or 3 pages worth of topics we're definitely going to go over the course of the next couple episodes, and I'm sure I'll keep getting suggestions flooding in from you guys. But yeah, just to kind of read one of the comments, a lot of people were talking about, they need some consultation to understand, the industry, and they said they always need more content coming out from us for some just different ideas and things. They want us to talk about the industry and big players and kind of what's going on out there. The differences from mixes and masters actually came from an audience member. That was an idea that they sent over, and they just wanted me to touch on some of my knowledge points and kind of pick my brain a little bit. They want to know kind of how to come across a plan, and how to put together a plan for themselves as an artist, as well as just as another professional. Really, at the end of the day, an artist and another professional industry, we're all businesses, so that's something where you need to have a business plan of some form. You need to understand who you are, what your image is, your brand, no matter whether you're Signal Studios, like I am, Emmy, which is my artist name, or if you're, Joe Schmo on the side of the road and you want to pull out a guitar and play in this same street corner every week, you really should have a brand. And, if you play in the same street corner every week, well, that's part of your brand. That's part of your routine, which is a part of your brand and what people will know you from. It's really important to know what your brand is and to build that brand. And we're definitely going to cover that in some of the future episodes as well. So yeah, that's one of our people kind of mentioned that they wanted some stuff like that. I also had other people ask about how do you keep track of your artists that you've worked with. Well, that's something we'll go over a little bit more in depth later as well. I'll probably throw that in with networking, because it really is just networking. Keeping in contact, networking, making sure you're keeping tabs on people. I mean, it's not 100% fluid. There are systems out there that allow you to know what's going on in the industry. Not all of them are free, but a lot of them are free. Not all of them are easy to use. Some of them are. It really is just a mixture, and knowing what you need to know and what you want to know. Be able to separate those two things, and then knowing, hey, let's go get the information we need. Let's assess it. Where can we find that information? And just having the time to go get it. So that's going to be something we will also cover in networking and researching the industry so that you can better further yourself as well. We're also going to cover finding your sound in the future. And I'll have a little bit more on that, but I'm going to also talk about my opinions on, copying other people or twisting the sound of other people. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail right now about that. There's a lot. It seems to be popular to think, oh, look at this artist, I kind of want to be like him, so let's copy him until I find my sound. Okay. we'll talk about that more later on in other episodes. But yeah, we're gonna have guests. We'll just throw in a bunch of different categories, different episodes, and hopefully the content keeps rolling out and you guys really enjoy it. That's really what we're geared towards, is just kind of rolling out the content that you guys can relate with. You guys can pick our brain. You can kind of just get our knowledge through this microphone and through your headphones over there, or your speakers, or wherever you're listening to this at, and you're able to take our experiences and help you avoid mistakes that maybe we made in the industry, or maybe just help you know what steps to take from where you are now, whether it be your first steps, your next steps, your last steps. No, it shouldn't be your last steps. But yeah, whether it be your first steps or your next steps, we want to help you. We want to help you figure out where to go next. And definitely follow our Facebook page, Signal Studios. If you want to find it easier, look for the SS with the blue waveform. You can also do the @ sign and do Signal Studios Music. That is the official tag for the page. We do have a YouTube channel. Maybe you're listening to the preview on the YouTube channel of this. Not sure. But yeah, we do have a YouTube channel. We will be doing some videos. We're starting with this podcast series. Hopefully they go hand in hand together, in a sense that everybody can grab the knowledge they need from it. I know right now it's kind of tough with the COVID stuff for a lot of artists, and so hopefully this gives you an idea of something you can kind of go to for that. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I want to make sure you guys get to know me, though. I did kind of go through a spiel at the beginning of the episode about kind of my life and my history. More about my life. I'm type 1 diabetic. I found out when I was at 11th grade. That does cause some struggles in life, especially as an artist. You think about running around on stage. That's a lot of exercise and the hot lights and sweating, and that can drop your blood sugar. So you have to be really, really, really close monitoring to that. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of factors, a lot of things that go into it, and everybody's got their own path to success. Hopefully we can help you guys find yours. Anyways, I know this episode was a little bit shorter than the episodes in the future. Hopefully you guys got a feel for where we're going with this podcast, what this podcast is all about, and hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am for future episodes, and stay tuned.
Let me put your brain about mid-range, cutting out frequencies. It's the